All right, guys. Well, we are here. Monday Night Live in the blind. See all we get in here tonight. In the meantime, get everything else set up. What up, Chris? Hey, you want to come up on panel tonight? I'm doing good, man. You want to come up on panel? Just say yes or no. All right. Chris, just click the link that I just put in the comments. Click it.
How you feeling, buddy?
Hey, man, what's going on?
Oh, another day.
I see you ain't changed your shirt out. You done muted yourself.
No, I need to change my shirt. It was laying right here, waiting for me to hang up, so I just grabbed it.
I got you.
You feeling
How you
it,
been, man?
Man, I've been good, working my butt off.
I got you. We're just gonna talk ducks. The only rules I have for this.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on 1 second.
Yep.
Hey, I'm on a live stream. Okay, all right. Bye. Say, Jeff. The only two things is no cussing and no politics.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
All right. Other than that, show them off. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was going to say, well, you got about 10 minutes.
Jeff, it's your birthday today. Well, happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday.
Oh, man. I was kind of debating whether or not to do a live tonight.
I was actually surprised you got on, to be honest with you.
I've been sick all weekend, dude.
You got that flu, or what do you got?
Oh, yeah. After duck season, depression, flu, whatever it is.
My hat looks so weird in this little bitty screen. It's driving me nuts. There, that'll work.
That'll work. Well,
No.
Jeff's got a birthday today. How old are you, Jeff? Jeff, I'd have known your birthday, I'd have baked the cake. I'd have ate it, but I'd have baked it. No, man, I worked I worked yesterday and I worked today. But I'm telling you, I did not want to be here at work. I did not want to do it. I muddled through it, and I said, well, 1966 model, 58. All right. In case you didn't know, Jeff, I'm a 65 model. Chris is probably about a 2012.
Shoot. About broke the rules when you said that. I'm a 78 model.
Oh, Lord. They didn't make a good car in 78. They made a good one in 66 and 65, though.
My favorite car was made in 65, Mustang.
Mustang, baby.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you. It's the only thing I like about Fords is that 1960s era Mustangs.
Now, my grandpa had an old 70 something model F-250, granny speed 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Oh, that truck was a beast.
I did have a 76 or 77 dually, Ford dually. And I was told it was 4-wheel drive, and I was told that you couldn't stick it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's still in that swamp.
Oh, man.
All right, Jeff finally got his pup in. Got Macy the lab. It's a lab, right? You got a Labrador, right, Jeff?
Speaking of pups, I am in the works of getting a poodle pointer.
Yeah, well, I heard that the other day.
I couldn't remember if I told you or not.
You mentioned it the other day. I think it was on your live stream.
Okay.
Well, Jeff, I'm happy you got the pup, man. I know that was a burden having to that they didn't deliver on the actual date, and then they had to reschedule it, and then the guy ran out of gas or did something, put the wrong gas or whatever it was. So I'm fine. I'm glad you finally got her. But yeah, man. Just let's sit here tonight and talk like we always do, man. Just talk.
Works for me.
Whatever comes up, man. I'm all about it.
I know you and I talked about you doing a live about a subject me and you was talking about the other day.
The choke tubes?
Choke tubes, yeah.
Yep.
So do you mind if we talk a little bit about ammo?
I don't care. We'll talk about whatever. Just to let you know, I contacted somebody and I have not heard back from them as far as the choke tubes. Because I wanted the guy to come on and actually lay it down. But
I know you're talking. The same person you told me he's going to contact.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So, as you know, I've been a federal blue box guy for decades.
Right.
So, in one of my posts, I mentioned I tried 4 different types of ammo. And one of them, I don't know how well you can see that, the Winchester. Yep. And that's 12 gauge 3-inch 2-shot, 1 ounce and 1/8, going 1550. And I don't know if you can see that.
Yep.
I don't know how to hold this to the screen. There we go.
Right there.
And same thing with the Kent. And then I only bought a couple boxes of the other stuff. And then, of course, my new personal favorite is the Apex S3 Steel. I can honestly say my duck season was crap. But I've managed to take down birds with every one of these ammos. Plus the heavy steel.
Hey, Randy.
From Heavy Shot.
Right.
What do you or anybody else has ever noticed a difference? Now, I know there's ounce and an eighth, ounce and a quarter, different shot size, 12 gauge, 20 gauge, 3 inch, 2 3/4, 3 1/2. Do y'all ever really notice a big difference in when y'all shoot ducks with one brand compared to another? That's my question. I wanted that.
Yeah, I did. I saw a difference when I was shooting steel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you shoot steel.
Mm-hmm.
Before I found Boss Ammo, which everybody here knows I'm now with Salt Creek Custom Ammo, but I didn't know them then, and I went to Boss. And before that, I came across a box of heavy bismuth, heavy shot, heavy bismuth, and a couple of boxes. And I started shooting the bismuth, and I noticed a huge difference. It was almost taking me back to my days of lead. But getting back to steel shot, I personally noticed, because when we first started, it was bigger. The bigger the shot, the faster it was. You know, that's what everybody was telling you. And I mean, I shot double BBs. I shot T shot. I shot, and that's a 3.5 inch T shot. Everything had to be a 3.5 inch. Everything had to be a number one or a double BB. And we were killing ducks, but it wasn't. I wasn't happy with it.
Right.
I just wasn't happy with it. Federal came out with the Black Cloud.
Yep.
And ARD. And when Federal came out with Black Cloud, they by chance they just happened to be sponsoring Duck Commander. And everybody here knows I'm a huge fan of Duck Commander, not so much Duck Dynasty, but Duck Commander.
Right.
And I went to their 3-inch number 3s, and I saw a huge, huge difference in shooting 3.5 versus a 3 with a smaller shot.
Okay.
Because the 3 was a smaller shot, and I wasn't having to tear my shoulder apart with a big 3.5 inch shell.
Right. And
so I shot the 3s for a very long time. And then I went down one season. I went to number 6s. And it happened to be a 3-inch number 6. And the reason I got the 6s is we were going on a teal hunt. And again, this is pre-bismuth for me. And I saw a bigger difference going into the smaller shot size. So I came up with this thing in my head. I'm like, well, dadgum, I got smaller shot, and I got more opportunity to hit what I'm shooting at. Right.
Right.
Better pattern, better spreads, better shot strength. And I wasn't all into the ballistic stuff, which I'm still not. But I happened to notice a huge difference. Now, when I went to bismuth, it was like night and day. It took me back to shooting lead, and with the leads and all that, the way the patterns were and the leads and everything.
Right.
And here, I didn't know how to explain all this, and I still really don't do a good job at it. But like I said, I think I've said it on this live stream. I know I've said it on yours a couple of times. I watched that podcast on Midwest Flyways, and he was interviewing Mueller choke tubes, and he explains it a whole lot better than I'll ever be able to. And if Keith from Salt Creek Custom comes on here, I'll ask him to come on panel as well if he wants to. But maybe he can explain it even more. But the smaller the shot, and I mean, I'm paraphrasing what this guy said, and it took me by surprise the way he said it. But the smaller the shot, and I'm not talking about drastically cutting your speed, but the reduced speed along with the smaller shot gives a better pattern and shot string, the whole 9 yards, everything that you'd want by going smaller. And I've never shot a 3-inch shell since I've been to Bismuth. And, I've got a 12 gauge. I got Bismuth for it.
Right.
It's 2 3/4 fives. And then I happened to find TSS. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to be hard pressed getting me over anything over a 7. 7 or 9s is what I'm going to stick with it. It makes it's a night and day kind of thing. I mean, RD knows a little bit more about ballistics than I do. He's in here. If he wants to come up, he can come up as well. RD, just let me know. But it's night and day to me. I know that people they're hesitant about going to Bismuth or going to TSS because of the cost. And trust me, if there's anybody in here that understands that, I do. He just got out of his bubble bath, so he can't do that. Yeah. Yeah, you just stay in your bubble bath, buddy. I didn't even want to know that.
No.
And Jeff makes a good point. He says we spend so much money on gear, why cheap out on ammunition? Right. I am not saying that Winchester or Apex or Kent or any of those are bad ammo.
Right.
I'm not saying that. Don't ever think that I would say that.
Right.
Hey, Charles. That's too much information. But I am all about smaller shot, going back to a 2 and 3. That's all you need. If you're shooting ducks, if you're decoying ducks, you don't need a 3.5-inch shell. You don't even need a 3-inch shell. And with today's choke tubes, I'm telling you right now, man. I mean, you get something like Comp and Choke, or Mueller, or some of the other really name brand choke tubes, and you pattern your gun. I'm a firm believer that not all ammo is for every gun. Not all choke tubes are compatible with all guns and all ammo. So you, in my opinion, you need to test them. And that's what I did this year. Is I tested ammo in the field. Right. And I came up with a number 7 Bismuth, a number 7 TSS, or a number 9 TSS. And that's what I'm going to get. That's going to be what I'm going to be putting in my bag next year. God willing, and the river don't rise, that I can afford it. Dude, I've got a case of 16 gauge number 5 Bismuth from Boss. And I barely shot it this year because I was testing out Salt Creek a lot. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I mean, I got 10 rounds from him. I shot one time at a pattern board, and I shot 9. Next 9 times I shot it, I killed a duck with it. You know, how do you when you field test and I mean, how do you argue that?
Right. So can we show boomsticks on here? I'm used to the other.
No.
No? Okay.
You can call them guns, but you can't show them. Not on live streams.
Okay. Yeah, I'm used to the other platform where you can't even call them that. So, but,
right.
You know, me and you talked on mine on the Apex. And for those just tuning in, I started shooting the Apex 12 gauge 3-inch ounce and a quarter. And I shoot a skeet choke because I'm not shooting usually more than 30 yards, 35 yards.
Right.
It holds the best pattern out of all of them, even better than probably my modified at that range, in all honesty. And that's taking your advice. And I drew a 30-inch circle and I tried it out. And I forgot my pellet. It's here somewhere. Anyways, I had a little over almost 80% pellets out of the 100 or so that's in there in at 30 yards in that 30-inch circle.
Yeah.
And my modified, it went. I don't know why, but it did.
Hey, well, and RD can attest to this. When I got my 16 gauge, the Wicked Wings, I took it to his house. He lives about an hour up the road. And I said, man, this thing is shooting all over the place. I can't figure it out. Well, first thing we did was we shimmed it. That was the first thing we did was shimmed it. And we put it on a pattern board. And this is before I got comp and choke. And their tubes, the modified was like this. The improved cylinder was like that.
Right.
When I was shooting doves, before I got the comp and choke tubes, for they were sent to me, I went out and shot doves, and I normally shoot a modified choke when I shoot doves.
Mm-hmm.
That's just normally what I do. And I don't know what was going on. And I put improved cylinder in it, and it was one after another. I mean, there goes a limit. I mean, I like, I think choke tubes, yeah, RD says right there, A5 Wicked Wing factory chokes are junk. Yeah. And
could you please tell me who RD is?
RD Reynolds. He has a YouTube channel, RD Reynolds Outdoors.
Okay.
Good buddy of mine. If you never get out of his bubble bath and dry his 2 little hairs that he has on top of his head, he'd come on panel. But
hey, RD, my wife makes bath bombs. You want me to send you a few of them?
Yeah, he probably needs it. He's got a new job and he's got a new job where he's sporting a pink pullover or polo shirt or something. I don't know what he's doing. But anyway, you buy these choke tubes. In my opinion, if you buy a choke, this is my opinion, guys. So just take it for what it's worth. Opinions are like elbows. Everybody's got a pair.
Mm-hmm.
You go and you buy these what they call mid-range or long-range tubes. You don't really know what they are unless you understand the numbers from a micrometer. If you don't understand that stuff, and I don't know them off the top of my head, I don't know what for instance 0.065 is. Is that the Invector DS2 or something different for Wicked? It's different. It's not Invector. It's a DS2. really want to look more into forcing. Oh Lord, he's busy drying his rubber ducky to come on. But yeah, I don't need to know that either. Unless you understand those numbers, I mean, you really need to get a micrometer on it and then check it. Verify it, which you can by the internet. I mean, it's all that information is right there.
Right.
But you don't know what you're getting. So, in my humble opinion, I don't order mid-range tubes or long-range tubes. I order modified.
Mm-hmm.
When it gets in, we're going to put a micrometer to it, and I want to see how close it is to the standard of what chokes are supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you now, those Browning DS tubes were way off. Now, RD can attest to that. We did it like 3 or 4 times. We were like, no, that can't be right. And we kept, as a matter of fact, I got a video where we actually put it in there and then we showed it to the comp and choke tube, the difference in them. It was absolutely crazy. But regardless, here or there, I went back to shooting small shot a little bit slower than what I normally shot. And I went open. I went open on my choke tubes. Improved cylinder was the improved cylinder was the tightest thing I shot this year. And I actually shot cylinder a lot. Mm-hmm. So when I get some new ammo in, I'm gonna show you all what these tubes will do from full all the way down to cylinder. On my duck ammo, but I'm waiting on the ammo. Once he gets here,
so
we're gonna go at it.
Are you like me? You don't really you're hunting not tight quarters, but you're not hunting open water,
right?
30, 35 yards.
I'm within 35 yards. Yeah. I mean, it's in treetops. If you're having a treetop of duck, say a wood duck is, he has no chance of coming into my spread, and I'm having to pass shoot them. And if they're treetop, it's still within 35 yards because of the trees I hunt.
Mm-hmm.
90% of the trees I hunt are from ground up or 20, 25 yards.
Right.
So I'm well within the 35-yard range.
Right.
Even doing that. I did shoot some open water this year, and I had some geese that were coming, and I just quickly changed out to a modified, and I still freaking missed the thing. And I switched back to improved cylinder, and the next one that came over, I killed it. That's because the shot that I was using patterned best with improved cylinder.
Right.
Hey. That's why I tell people, pattern your guns. Put it on a piece of paper. That's going to give you an idea. Between 35 and 40 yards, that's going to give you a rough idea of what it's going to be. And then something you did, and I haven't really spoken much about it, but if you really want to see what your shot string looks like, put an old decoy in the water and shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot it.
And like I told you, and for the other people that don't know, the last weekend of the Oklahoma duck season here, I took a buddy of mine's son on a duck hunt, and it was a horrible, horrible day. And my daughter accidentally tossed a decoy that didn't have everything attached to it, and it kind of floated off with the current. And I said, for fun, let's just sink that decoy. Let's see who can shoot the best. I forgot I had the skeet choke in there, and that's how I found out I shoot a better pattern with it than with the other, just by pure duh. It happened.
Duh.
And yeah, so
Randy, let me back up here. RD is saying I think standard have I think the standard has moved from the old days, which that's a good possibility. Randy says, high price chokes ain't always better. I got a custom choke tube for turkey shoots. It was over $100. I got a $10 choke tube that shoots 100% better. And then Jeff goes, do you think manufacturers know what choke tubes shoot the best in their guns? I think they know what shot. And if you've got a Browning gun, so for instance, a Browning gun, and they put their tubes in it, they're going to make their tubes, they put them in it, they're going to test it with their ammo, with Browning ammo. And that's how they'll know what shoots better. But I'm not paying for Browning ammo just because it's got a buck on it. I just think that's kind of crazy. That is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I've got some kick choke tubes that shoot the Kicks Vortex, that shoot Federal Black Cloud like a dream. I got two guns back here, that a 20 and a 12, and I got a full assortment of Kicks tubes for them. And if I'm shooting Federal Black Cloud steel number 3s, shoots it like a dream.
Mm-hmm.
It absolutely is on the money. I think you gotta buy a tube, and you gotta pattern your gun, and you may have to, if you say, well, if so and so says get a True Lock, or so and so says get a Comp and Choke, or so and so says get a Mueller, and if you go by that and you get that tube, get ready to spend some money in ammo and pattern that gun. Go out there and pattern it with the ammo that you like to shoot, and see what it does. And if it doesn't do what it's not the tube, it's the shot. Go to a different shot. Go to a different brand. Go to a different size. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but I think that's just the way it is. Hey Noah, how you doing? But I don't, I would love for everybody to call up Comp and Choke and says, hey, Daddy Duck sent me to get your tubes. That'd make my day. But, not everybody. I mean, everybody has their tubes that they like and they feel confident with, and that's, understandable. You know what I'm saying?
So in all honesty, I mean, this, but your viewers don't. I've been duck hunting for 30 years off and on, 20 years pretty much straight. And I've never even honestly have ever messed with the choke tube until, like, I never had a reason to. All my ducks were personal when I hunted flooded timber or narrow creeks and small river channels. And I was like, well, I'll give it a shot this year, just see if I could do a little bit better, because I knew there was going to be some spots that I was going to. When I say reach out and touch a duck, I don't mean it was 100 yards away. It was further. Right. And so I started messing with them a little bit. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know why. I still hold a good enough pattern with the skeet tube or choke, I'm sorry, that it's no reason to buy them, in my opinion.
Yeah. If yours is shooting, and listen, and Jeff says something, the chokes that come with a gun should be the best for that gun, but anymore, I don't know if that is true anymore. There's a lot of truth in what you're saying, and I agree with you. For example, I have a Remington 1100 16 gauge. and I have aftermarket tubes for it. I don't know if you'll get a discount code or not, but it just make me look good. I have a couple of aftermarket tubes for it, right? None of those aftermarket tubes shoot better than the originals, the factory tubes. Just so happens they shoot better. No matter what I put in that gun, no matter what I feed it, it shoots better with the factory tubes. I've got my Benelli is the same way. I have a pure gold, improved cylinder, extended tube, and the flush factory tubes shoot better than anything I put in it. But I get this Wicked Wings, and I could put it 2 inches from the wall and pull the trigger and wouldn't hit the wall. It was crazy. It was absolutely nuts how that stuff just went all over the place. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. It shot high and to the left. It shot all over. So, but I think if your factory tubes are working, use them. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Why do you think people go out and buy the extended tubes instead of the flush fit over their factory tubes?
Mostly it's because friends of theirs tell them. I'd say that's about 90%. I'd say about the other 10% are looking for better performance.
Right.
RD says it would shoot behind the wall. Yeah. He doesn't like the Wicked Wings tubes that come with him. He doesn't like them either, and I don't like them. But I think most of the people who go out and I shouldn't say 90%. I'd say a majority, though, their friends are shooting such and such, and they said, "Man, you've got to get these tubes. You've got to do this." In all actuality, if they would just spend a little bit of money and go through different brands, different shot sizes, different, totally just go crazy and just try to find the best patterns in their gun, they'll probably figure out, well, I can do this and still have a good pattern. But I think it's the same way. I was laughing at myself the other day. I saw a TikTok, and you've probably seen the same things. Anybody in here that watches TikToks, I'm from, I'm from Oklahoma. Of course I eat beef. Those kind of TikToks.
Right.
All right. I got to thinking of myself. I said, I was laughing at myself the other day and said, I'm a South Carolina duck hunter. Of course I have more mallard decoys than there are mallards in the state. I think people marketing is number one. RD says extended is easier to swap out. But I think the majority is because people say, "Hey, go to this tube, you'll shoot better."
Right.
And they still use the crappy ammo, and they find out they don't, then they get upset about it. And but if they would just go ahead and buy good ammo and test it on a pattern board, a pattern board is not going to give you 100% of what your gun is capable of. It's going to give you an idea. That's all it's doing, is giving you an idea. And if you see 80% in your 30-inch circle, it's going to give you an idea of what that'll do at 35, 40 yards. But guess what? It puts this in your head saying, I know at 30, 35, 40 yards, that's what my pattern's going to look like. And it's right here. And shooting is more of a mental game than it is. How many times you pull? I mean, guys, I'm going to ask you and the rest of everybody who's in the chat. How many times you pulled the trigger and said missed? I mean, as soon as you pulled the trigger, you went miss.
A lot.
It's all mental.
Yeah.
You go or you go, I don't know how I missed that, and then you start thinking about it. And you go, well, I was kind of behind on that bird, or I was, I didn't follow through. I had my head up, and I had my head up. I had both eyes open. I had my head up, and I shot that one off my bicep or whatever. I mean, you just know it's a mental game.
I'll tell you what my big problem is, and I know it, and I still do it, and I'm like, did it again. Next time it comes up, I try to remember. But so in October, I'm muzzleloader hunting for deer. Well, when it comes time to duck hunt, I got to remember to keep both eyes open when I'm looking down the barrel of the shotgun, instead of one eye closed like I'm looking through the scope of a rifle.
Right.
And that hurts me a lot. And I know that hurts me a lot.
I don't aim a shotgun. I point a shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
I throw it up and I try to do my best to get out in front. And I can't say too much about my shooting skills because RD was with me and I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn if I was sitting inside of it. And, but Charles even says, first of all, Jeff said it's a flush choke for him. And he goes, I don't know. He goes, I never miss. Okay. All right, Jeff, you never miss. Same goes with a rifle. Guys go out and buy a $100 rifle and put a low end scope on it.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, if I do miss, I'm claiming yours. Randy's saying I shoot a mod in the swamp and full when I hunt the river. Okay. If you're on it, I mean, I'm not telling you that everybody needs to go to improved cylinder and shoot a number 7. If you're shooting whatever it is you're shooting, if you're shooting 2s, 4s, 6s, BBs, whatever choke tube you got, and you're consistently hitting birds, stick with what you got.
Mm-hmm.
Stick with it. You've got it. You whether you pattern that gun or you got it by mistake, stick with it. But I do believe that everybody should know what their gun's doing. I just, I mean, we go out and we shoot 4 or 5 times right before turkey season, make sure our gun's on. We go out and we shoot a rifle on range, make sure our scope's on. We should take our bows out. We do the same thing. But duck hunters, for whatever reason, have this thing that they just don't want to pattern their shotguns and find out what it's really doing.
Right.
I've talked more just a few minutes. I've talked in 2 weeks.
You sound winded, buddy.
I am, dude. Man, it's cold. I'm congested. Oh.
I hope you get over that crap soon.
I blew my nose earlier today and it looked like 6 bushels of oysters fell out.
Yeah.
What's up, Grant? What's going on, man? But that's my opinion. I mean, like I said, COVID. Oh heck no, I ain't got COVID. I got a cold. And even if I did have COVID, I wouldn't know it. I ain't shoving nothing up my nose to find out just because I got a runny nose. But this is my humble opinion. You know, I don't want to, just my old humble opinion. But I do think if you're shooting, if try out, like I said, just try different stuff and see if I'm a big believer in that.
Right.
I'm gonna try something. If I find something that's working, I'm gonna stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to know what it's doing. I want to see it. I want to see it on paper. Like most men, we're very visual kind of people.
Right.
We got to see it and check it out. See what takes you 10 minutes.
And it's fun.
And it's fun. You get to go out there and pull the trigger on something. Did you see, I got to ask you, did you see that last video I put out on Bougie? Episode 3?
The small kennel one?
No. This was doing Force to Pile. It came out yesterday.
I don't think I've seen that one yet.
All right. Well, the last shot is I had been doing Force to Pile all week. And she still kind of runs off a little bit. She doesn't go on a straight. I'm trying to work on that. I think I know what I need to do on that. But anyway, we were out in this field. A friend of mine's, actually it was his driveway. And I pulled out my dummy launcher.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I want to see what she does with this. So I sat her down and I fired that thing off. And buddy, let me tell you what, I lit a fire under that dog. She loved it.
Really?
And it went 100 yards. I mean, she couldn't wait to get to it and come back. And when I got her on film, because she sat right there, never flinched, just kind of like perked up, like, what was that? Oh, I see it. Give me the command. I gave it to her and she took off. And I didn't have none of that on film. It was just, I was just seeing what she would do to it. So dogs will make a liar out of you. Like dogs and children make a liar out of you quick.
Right.
And I sat her down and I pulled that thing back and I fired it off, buddy. And it was like, she took off like a bottle rocket. And I'm like, here. I hadn't sent her yet. And I turned back to the camera and went, I know what we got to work on next week. Man, she jumped the gun big time.
Have you ever used that with her before?
I had never done that with her before. That was our first. I was just gonna see what it was. We had finished training, what I wanted to do, and I got the film that I wanted, and I just was gonna give her a something fun. And boy, it lit it. Yeah, she liked that. That was because it went out about 75, 80 yards.
Wow.
And I mean, she was gone.
Are they air powered? These blanks, or what do you use?
Yeah, it's a blank. It's for the dummy launcher blank. You put the dummy on it and you pull it back and release it. Hits the firing pin and poof, off it goes. Grant is saying, got invited to go sit at a private duck hole this evening to watch ducks and video. I got some decent video for being cloudy. I'll post tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get invited to hunt next year. Man, that's cool.
Cool.
Grant, I got invited to that this year, or this past season, on a private property. And the night before, that evening before, I went in there and watched thousands of ducks come into this one hole and videoed it. It was unbelievable, man.
Matt, I'll be right back.
Yep, do what you got to do. Randy saying, I've shot improved cylinder pass, but gunshot better with the mod with number 6s in the swamp and 2 or 4s on the river. Yeah, dude, Randy, if you're shooting, whatever choke tube you got in there, whether it's factory or if it's an aftermarket, if you're knocking them down, dude, I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, seriously. I in my case, I had to change. There was no getting around it. There was no getting around it. None of the tubes, factory tubes that came with that gun, shot worth a dang. All of them were just terrible, terrible. Let's see here. But I can't wait to see it, Grant. Is it going to be on YouTube or Instagram, or where are you going to put it? Okay. If you post it, I'll take a look at it tomorrow. I got a lot of video this year on ducks trading back and forth, but I ain't found a place where I wanted to. I may just do a montage of just ducks flying, put some music to it, and let her rip, Tater Chip. I don't know. Grant, I'm gonna tell you, I like TikTok. I don't like who owns it, but that's beside the point. I like TikTok because it's all about branding for me right now and getting my name out there. And I'm quite sure that I've gotten some people crossovers. Like Chris is one of them. Met Chris on TikTok. So and you do your live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays?
Tuesday and Thursday, yes.
Tuesday and Thursday on TikTok, yeah. And all we talk is ducks. That's all we talk about. We get into some heated stuff over there, though.
Yeah.
It ain't my channel. Just saying.
I've got back in every once in a while.
Yeah. You got to reel a couple people in.
Yeah. I've got to let people know. I'm sorry. I barely got a public school education, guys. Don't make fun of my English. I have 4 or 5 young men. And by that, I mean junior high or younger that tune in. And I've had to tell people to watch the 4-letter words and the innuendos. And I've kicked a couple people off because of it.
But there are some times you just can't help. I couldn't help myself. There's been a few times I couldn't help myself.
What? Tell them about that, man. Why don't you?
About what? But yeah, I have the same thing on here, man. I have a lot of kids that watch this. That's why I tell anybody who comes on panel, the first thing I'm gonna tell you, right on panel in front of everybody, watch the language, no guns.
Mm-hmm.
You can say guns, you just can't show them.
Right.
And we don't talk politics. But I will say, real quick, Nikki Haley got her butt smacked Saturday. Anybody who takes Democratic money from the Democrat Party don't need to be on the Republican side. Anyway, that's enough.
I'm not a real big political person anyways.
River, what's up, buddy? She probably liked it. I can't say what I want to say. My grandson may be watching.
Does he have a nickname yet?
Huh?
Does he have a nickname yet?
My dad calls him Gunner.
Mm-hmm.
I just call him Little Matt. I ain't quite figured out yet. I'm gonna give him one of these days.
How is your dad?
My dad is 80 years old. Oh,
how is he?
Oh, how is he? I'm sorry. He's doing better.
Good. Glad to hear.
We were supposed to cook Friday, but I was sick as a dog,
Mm-hmm.
and I did not want to go over there. And we rescheduled it for Sunday after I got off work, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I was hurting. But he ended up cooking that duck, and I don't know if I can. I don't know if you'll see. I don't know if you can see it well or not.
Yeah, right there. Asparagus, gravy, duck. Looks like some rice and clams.
Mussels and shrimp on top.
Ooh.
And that is a clam sauce. That
All
gravy is a clam sauce. Oh, Jeff just reminded me of something. Barbecue. Last week we were talking about barbecue, and Jeff says we were getting close to time, leaving here, and I said, "Well, we'll make it a topic." So we're going to talk barbecue. So I don't know how Oklahoma is. I don't know how Arkansas is. But here in South Carolina, you can pretty much tell where a person is from by their barbecue sauce. And we're talking pork. We're talking pork barbecue. We're not talking beef. We're talking pork barbecue. Pulled pork barbecue. Right now, we're talking pulled pork.
For me, it just really depends. I mean, mesquite's all right. I kind of like a yellow vinegary, mustardy sauce.
Right.
I'm really not picky. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, it just depends what mood I'm in. The only thing I've got to say about my barbecue sauce is I want it thick. I don't want it runny like water. It needs to be rib stick and thick.
Okay. All right. So you would probably like a ketchup base or a mustard base.
Mustard base, yeah.
Versus a vinegar base. Well, here in South Carolina, if you live now, there's going to be some lines in there, so I'm going to have, you just got to kind of understand that. But if you look at the state of South Carolina, it's a triangle, and the lower end of that triangle, from the Georgia coast to the North Carolina coast, and a little ways inland, is mostly going to be vinegar-based barbecue. We call it it's the low country, and I'm on the edge. I don't actually live in the low country. I'm on the edge. The PD area is a combination of vinegar and a little bit of a mustard base. As you go Midlands, you're going into more of a mustard base. And then if you go into the upland areas of South Carolina, It's ketchup based. When we're talking pulled pork barbecue, where you're cooking a Boston butt, and when it's done, you're going to take it and shred it, and you're going to either eat it shredded or put it on sandwiches or what have you. It's going to be vinegar based, and it's a sauce that we make, that my family makes. It was actually my late father-in-law's recipe, and it goes on everything. Doesn't matter. Chicken, pork, beef, potatoes, doesn't matter. That barbecue sauce is unbelievable. It's not thick, it's not runny, and it adheres to the meat really, really well. If I'm doing ribs, my personal preference is a Memphis style.
Yes.
Where it's a dry rub. My wife likes a wet sauce. She likes the ketchup base on her pork ribs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have to cook a half a rack dry and a half a rack wet. If I'm frying deer steaks, like I get some deer cube steaks, I'll chunk them in little bite-sized chunks, and I will season them, and then I will dip them in mustard-based sauce, then put them in flour, and then deep fry them until they're golden brown.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only time I use mustard base. That's the only. I don't like a mustard based sauce.
Like I said, it just depends what kind of. I'm not really picky. I like them all. It just depends on the mood I'm in.
Now, there are some recipes that I do that I'll when I'm smoking, that I'll use a red, ketchup based sauce, like my shotgun shells that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it adheres to the bacon and the pasta a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking, like the barbecue. So when you think barbecue, hey Wanda, when you're thinking barbecue in Oklahoma, is yours a beef barbecue or a pork barbecue?
I'm a pork guy.
Okay, I guess that's from being in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pork. Pork 100%, unless I'm doing obviously a brisket.
Yeah.
But pork ribs, pulled Boston butt, pulled pork, whatever you want to call it, pork everything.
Right.
And you're putting it on the smoker. There's none of this. We're gonna throw it on a grill and.
No, that's grilling.
Yeah, that's grilling. It's a smoker. I don't care if you use electric pellet, propane, whatever you use. It's a smoker.
Right. Yeah, there's a difference. I was talking to someone the other day, and they made mention that they were doing a barbecue this weekend. And I said, "Oh, well, what are you doing? Pulled pork or what?" And they said, "No, we're grilling we're barbecuing hamburgers." And I went,
"You're grilling."
Well, I said, "Well, you can smoke hamburgers, make a hamburger bowl, fill it up, put cheese on it, put it in the smoker." Okay. He looked at me and says, no, man, like a hamburger, like you eat a hamburger. I said, "No, dude, you're grilling." You can, yeah. Pork is best smoking meat. Yes, sir.
Yes, 100%. Now, when you're doing a smoker, what wood are you using? I like apple or pecan.
That depends on what I'm cooking.
If I'm doing ribs, I'm doing apple.
If I'm doing ribs, I'm doing hickory.
Really?
Yep. The only time that I'll use a fruit wood is if I am smoking wild game or chicken. Like I smoke chickens. I smoke chickens all the time. I smoke chicken thighs. I smoke whole chickens. If I'm doing any type of poultry, to include ducks and wild fowl, I will use a apple or a cherry.
Yeah.
If I'm using if I'm doing ribs or pulled pork, it's hickory. If I'm doing a brisket, I'm going to be using mesquite.
Yep.
I like or if I can find, I have a pellet. I have a Pit Boss pellet, and if I can ever find post oak pellets, I would use post oak on brisket.
Yeah, I'm mainly an apple person when it comes to ribs. I might throw a little persimmon in it.
Got it.
I do a mixture whenever I do it, but yeah, I'm with you on the mesquite. 100%. But pecan, I like doing a little pecan on some stuff every once in a while just for something different. Now, when I do apple, I'll dump apple juice into the bowl in the smoker and
Right.
everything else. And yeah.
I don't
delicious.
Now my son, he does that. He's got a concoction with apple juice and orange juice and a whole bunch of stuff that he'll put in his smoker. I personally don't do it. I've marinated certain meats in that kind of stuff and then put it on a smoker. But I don't, even when I had the cabinet smoker, and I would, he's got the water trap, down there where you put the water, you put all your stuff, in that. It was mostly just water.
What do you use binder on your ribs?
That depends on what I'm cooking. If I'm cooking pork, it's going to be mustard.
Yes.
All the way mustard. You don't get that mustard flavor. It's just a binder.
Yep.
If I'm doing wild game, W sauce.
Really?
W sauce. There's no getting around it. It is W sauce. Not wash your sister sauce. It is W sauce. It is thick. It has a little bit of a pop to it.
Yeah.
You can't taste it, but it makes a great binder.
You ever married?
Hold on 1 second. Charles says, "Dang, now you guys got me wanting to drive over to Florence to get a brisket sandwich from Buc-ee's." Well, I'm only an hour away, Charles, so we'll meet up one day. Let's see. Jeff says, "I use compaction pellets for everything. Am I wrong by doing that?" No, I don't think so. I have a pellet smoker myself, and a lot of times, Pit Boss, I think Traeger does too. They have their competition blend, which is a blend of a lot of different woods, and it's all pellets. I'll just grab a bag of it and just use it. Matter of fact, I am out. I have no more pellets in my shed. This whole from September to last week, I have used about 15 bags of pellets. See, I don't do that. Randy is saying with ribs, I use a spray bottle with apple juice and keep spraying the ribs and smoke them with oak. My son does that, and he will wrap his ribs. The 3-2-1 method or whatever it's called.
Yep.
I don't even do that. Nope. All right. So I'll take my ribs and I pull the silver skin off the back. All right. Get all that off. I will hit it with some mustard, both sides, and I season with meat church. And depending on the flavor that I'm wanting, I will use 2, sometimes 3 seasonings. My base layer is always going to be all-purpose. All-purpose for meat church. My next layer may be honey barbecue or honey barbecue with bacon. And then my third layer from meat church is either going to be the D's nuts or Texas sugar. That's going to be my top layer. And then I throw it in there. The birthday buzz is catching up with me. I understood what you were saying, Jeff. But I'll do it. I like a dry rib. So, and I'm low and slow. I mean, 220, 200, sometimes 225, and I'll let it go until I can pull the rib. When I can pull that rib, one of the ribs out, it's done. I had to put my gloves on and scoop it up like a baby.
I like my ribs just a little bit before they get like that.
I just take the ribs and pull them out.
Now I can't say the name on here, but I found an awesome peach rub that I tried one day.
Why can't you say the name?
Because it has a swear word in it.
Go ahead.
Chicken shit.
I've heard of them.
Oh, get that peach rub and try it, brother. It is phenomenal.
Really?
Yes. I tried it for something different. Well, okay. My wife bought it for something different, and I decided I'd go ahead and try it. And I'm glad she got it because it is
awesome. Jeff says I can't cook a spare rib. I can't cook a good spare rib. Jeff, I know a lot of guys who do the 3-2-1 method. They'll season them, put them in the smoker for 3 hours. They pull them off. They lay down some brown sugar. They lay down some pats of butter. They put it meat side down. Speaking of pork chops, what's up? Then they'll wrap it tight, aluminum foil tight. They'll put it back in there for 2 hours. And then at the end of 2 hours, they'll take it off and they'll throw it back on the smoker and finish it off for that last hour.
Is pork chop on there?
Pork chop outdoors. Do you know pork chop?
If it's the same one that on TikTok, yeah.
I don't know if pork chop's got a TikTok or not.
It might not be the same one. Shoot. I'm losing my mind.
RD's out. I guess he's finished with his bubble bath and
TMI.
Jeff saying country style ribs he can cook. No, pork chop outdoors. He's got a YouTube channel. Well, he did. I haven't seen him post anything in a while. But you want to talk about a crappie fisherman, buddy? That man could control he could take a wooden dowel, sharpen the end off of it, drop it in the water, and catch crappie. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Oh, I thought you meant he was a horrible fisherman. I got you.
I'll call him. No, he's a crappie fisherman.
Got you. I'm with you now. I'm kidding.
A crappie, a crappie, a sockeye.
Sockeye, yeah.
A white perch, whatever you want to call them.
So are you a St. Louis or baby back rib guy?
Baby back.
Yep, 100%.
100% baby backs. I'll cook St. Louis if that's all I got. but I prefer baby back ribs.
Yep.
If now I do a lot of country style ribs as well. I'll smoke them. And I do them the same way. I mean, I do them the same way as I do a regular rib. I just season them and throw them on there and let it go. Don't take as long, but I'll let them go.
Right.
I like cooking briskets, but my Lord, a 24-hour cook is you got to plan for that.
How long do you let your pulled pork go for?
Depending on the size of the Boston butt,
right,
a good 8 hours.
Yeah,
it's a really good 8 hours. I did one a couple weeks ago. It was a wild hog Boston butt, and I cooked it. I actually overcooked it. Because I can't pronounce the thing that wild hogs have, that little parasite that they can sometimes get. Anybody in here can tell me what it is? I can't pronounce it.
Oh, not bursula. I don't know. I just pop them. I don't eat them usually. So.
But anyway, I did one, and I was trying. I was a little nervous about that, so it was kind of overcooked, but it still came out okay. It wasn't as moist, as I got when I get one from the grocery store. So, but a good 8 hours. I get to that 145, 150 mark.
Yeah.
Charles saying, that's it. Bucky's bound. Now off to bed. You guys have a good week. He's going to get him a brisket sandwich. What's your favorite, spare rib or country style?
Country.
Jeff, just like when I do my baby back ribs, I'll do everything the same way. I season them really well, and I like a dry rib. And mostly with country style ribs, you're not going to get a bone. If you get a bone, it's going to be a little bone. It's going to be like a sliver. I sometimes will put some sauce on them just for the heck of it, but Boston butt and pork loin, then hash them together. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I've never done it that way. Just because I get a Boston butt, I have that going, and then I want to take a loin, and I want to do something totally different with it. If I got a whole loin, what I really like doing is getting a couple packs of bacon and making a bacon weave, and then rolling that loin up in that after I season it. Slather it with mustard, season it up real well, roll it up in that bacon, season up the bacon, and then put it in there. And then we do have a red ketchup-based sauce here in South Carolina. It's called Jim Lee. And I will slather Jim Lee all over it because that's really good. It just got a good flavor to it. But if I'm going to, usually around 8 hours for a Boston butt, 3 to 4 hours for ribs.
Mm-hmm.
They don't take that long. I can usually put ribs on at let's say 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're eating by 7. So,
yep.
Now I'll season them about an hour, maybe 2 hours prior to the cook. So, yes, I have smoked a chuck roast, and I did it just like a brisket. It just doesn't take that long. But I used a brisket seasoning, actually made by Meat Church, called Holy Cow, if I'm not mistaken. But yep, I have done a chuck roast. That's the poor man's brisket, and it turned out excellent.
I've done a brisket once, and I'll never do it again.
Really?
It takes too long.
We always have a competition once a year here. Me and my son, he gets a brisket, I get a brisket. We have one smoker. He seasons his one way, I season mine one way, and we put them in together. Close her down. And then we let the family pick which one they like the best. I've never won.
Now, one of my favorite things to grill.
Go ahead.
One of my favorite things to grill is Dove.
Yes.
Everybody else, jalapenos, cream cheese, wrap them in bacon, throw them on the grill. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Now, how do you do your doves?
Jalapeno, cream cheese, and bacon wrap.
Just put it down the breastbone?
Yep. Sure do. Oh, delicious.
Get a pipe, put it in the loin, and stuff it with sausage, and I'm assuming you're saying wrapping bacon.
Do what now?
Randy is saying he says get a pipe, put it in the loin, then stuff it. Stuff it with sausage. And I'm assuming he's saying wrapping bacon. Pork Chop is saying, what about them shotgun shells things you did? Yes, that's the only way I cook them. Pork Chop is I sit there and smoke them. If none of y'all have ever watched the video, what I did is I took some wood ducks and I grinded them up. Got them in a grinder, grinded them up, added some pork, ground up pork. Not pork fat, but just ground pork. Not sausage, just ground pork. I added it to it, and I folded in. This time I did it. I folded in some cream cheese, and then I mixed everything up by hand, and then I piped it into a dry manicotti shell. When I did that, now of course everything was seasoned with Meat Church. Meat Church, if you're listening, you're not a sponsor, but you could be. I piped it in, and then I wrapped it in bacon, and then I seasoned it again and put them on the smoker till they got to 165 internal. Don't ask me the time frame because I can't remember, but it's 165 internal temp. And when I got to 160, 162. I smothered it with Jim Lee barbecue sauce. And that stuff was absolutely delicious. Yo, Anti, what's going on, man? Anti, this is Chris. Chris, there's Anti down here.
Nice to meet
you. He's going to make some weird comments and stuff like that, but he's a good fella.
That's
but yeah, that's generally what I do with that. As far as the wood ducks, those things are absolutely absolutely delicious. Oh my gosh. I have some ducks that I'm saving right now so that I can do it again, but on a larger scale. Because the first time I did it, I just did a small amount.
Mm-hmm.
And the next time I do it, I'm going to have a bunch of people over here. So, but it's a full couple of hours to prep it.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to grind all the meat down. You got to add the pork into it, and stuffing it into that manicotti shell that's the hard part.
Now, pork or pork fat?
I use ground pork.
Okay.
I just use ground pork.
Swaggerties?
No. I just had a off-brand of ground pork. I don't even remember what it was.
Well, brother, it is my bedtime.
All right, man.
I appreciate you having me on again. It was fun. Yeah. And am I gonna see you tomorrow night?
There's a good chance.
Okay, good deal, buddy.
Good chance. We'll see what happens. I have no idea what my wife has plans anymore. I get told at the last second.
I understand.
I know that as soon as I get off of work tomorrow, I'm headed over to my buddies to work bougie. She's gotten to the point where the training schedule I've got her on right now, I can't do it in the yard anymore. I got to get her out. I got to get her wider, get her out in the open. You know,
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right, buddy.
But
I'll have my mannequin decorated with a different shirt.
I hope so, dude. That little teal-colored fishing shirt
That's my dress shirt, man. It ain't even. The wife picked it out. What can I say?
Yeah, my wife was wanting to go somewhere the other day, and I put a T-shirt on, and she's like, "You don't have another shirt?" And I went and came in here and got a ratty camouflage. It got holes in it, and it's the only one I got. It's got a collar on it.
I still have the price tag. I've never even put the stupid thing on.
Chris.
Yo.
Real quick, before you leave, tell everybody about your channels and channel names and all that kind of stuff. So we can get you put on here.
It is O-Ark Outdoors on TikTok, Instagram, and I just started a YouTube here recently. I've got a few shorts on it. I also have a backup account on TikTok because evidently I have this fetish for posting videos TikTok doesn't like. It's O-Ark Outdoors 45. It's all about duck or hunting in general. 95% of it's duck hunting. So you'll catch Matt on my lives at least once a week. And a plethora of other people. We get some personalities on there. Matt can do. And but yeah, it's all about waterfowl and my passion for waterfowl hunting and like I said before, I say 30 years off and on, but 23 years straight of duck hunting. I give advice, ask questions, help new people out, and offer anybody their opinion on it too.
We generally have a really good time on your live streams.
Yes, we do.
You know, I mean, we really do. It's it gets to be kind of lively sometimes, but
faster, Matt, faster.
But it's
I couldn't help myself.
Which one are you talking about?
Faster.
That was, dude, that just it rolled so perfectly. It just rolled so perfectly.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's it.
Are you on your phone?
Yes.
He's on his phone, so I'm gonna it's spell it for me. It's O-ARK Outdoors. And the reason it is called OARK is I'm an Arkansas boy, born and raised. And I live literally across the border in Jay, Oklahoma now. So, and I still hunt both states religiously. Yeah. Anti was going to put it up in the comments so people can see it.
Thank you.
But I just typed it in, OARK Outdoors. It's on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram.
Yes. Yeah. I have a couple of companies backing me, but I won't get into that on this channel.
That's fine. I don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude. Tell people. I mean, I know you got to go to bed here. I know you got to get your beauty sleep and all, but
3:30 comes off early in the morning, buddy. So I'm on Bandit Avery's pro staff and Echo Call's pro staff or field staff.
Right.
And I'll talk to you more about it later, Matt, but there might be something pretty big coming down the line.
Okay. All right. Just give me a holler.
I will.
There we go.
Everybody, thank you very much. Appreciate the follows if you follow. And like I said, reach out if you got any questions or anything like that, and I'll answer them the best I can.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, brother.
All right, brother. Take care of yourself.
You too.
Anti, thank you so much for what you just did. Real bacon, and real butter make everything be better. Make everything, better. I got you. Not be better, but better. Got you. Oh, man. Any more? I know we were talking about we kind of got off the duck hunting stuff and started talking about barbecue. But I like the smoked meats. I really do. I like outdoor cooking. As you can probably tell from my physique. But there's really there's tips and tricks to everything that you do. I guess the biggest tip as far as barbecue goes, if you don't know it, if you're looking at it, you ain't cooking it. It's a lot of it's trial and error. My first brisket was a total disaster. It wasn't fit to eat. $100 piece of meat went in the garbage can. I mean, it just was not fit to eat. But seasoning plays a big part. Find a season that you like. I personally like Meat Church. I don't need to make my own seasoning. Meat Church has done it. I mean, they've got it, and that's basically all I use. The only other seasoning that I'll use is Montreal steak seasoning when I'm grilling steaks or hamburgers, or if I'm doing grilled duck steaks. If I'm doing a grilled duck steak, then I'll use Montreal. But other than that, I'm using Meat Church. I just think it tastes better. And if you can cook it in an oven, you can cook it in a smoker. Fact, Jack. I've done not only meats, but let's see here. I did the macaroni and cheese, smoked cream cheese. I've done a cake, believe it or not. So you can, whatever you can do in an oven, you can do it in your smoker. All right, I appreciate that, Anti. The temperature probes. You know, Jeff, that's really weird that you say that because I didn't like mine and I took mine out. I don't even know where they're at. To be honest, I have no idea where they're at. I set my temperature and I'll walk away and I'll come back in 3, maybe 4 hours and I'll check it real quick and close her up and let her go. And I just let it cook. But I'm, you know, if it calls for 225 or 250, if it calls for 250, I'm cooking at 225. Because I like a good smoke ring on it. I like to go low and slow. Now I do want to get I do want to get the probes that you put in, and you got the monitor that you can have outside. But as far as the Pit Boss ones, I didn't really like them that much. But that's just me. I put a whole hog in the trash a few years ago. I let an ex-co-worker make the sauce. Oh my gosh. I have not done a whole hog in a long. Of course, my smoker is not big enough to do a whole hog. I could probably do a piglet, but I haven't done a whole hog in a long, long time. I do not just pork barbecue, but I'll throw on chickens. I'll spatchcock a chicken, put on there. My wife and I both, we love to do smoked chicken thighs. They don't take long to cook, and it just seems to come out way better than anything else. I did I did a smoked turkey this year. I did it for Thanksgiving. I fry my turkeys, but they wanted a smoked turkey, so I did one for them. Came out good. Came out real well. But I spatchcocked it as well, and brined it overnight. Put it in a brine overnight. Took it out, seasoned it, and on it went. I've done it's called rouladen. It's where you take cube steak. You can do deer or beef. It's just cube steak. And you get some finely chopped onion, and you put it in there, and you take a pickle and you put the pickle, and you roll it up, and then roll it up in bacon and season it. We used to do that in the oven. I said, I'm going to try it in the smoker. Came out better. Well, they call that rouladen. I've done that. That's pretty good. I did a low country shrimp boil in a smoker one time. That was interesting. It came out real well. But I'll probably go back to a pot. I wanted to try it, see how it came out. It was good. I think the shrimp cooked too long. I had to, because you got the potatoes and the corn and all that in there, so I don't think it came out as well as I expected it to be. What else, guys? We got about 20 so minutes left. Do a whole hog around Christmas every year on Oakwood. It's a lot of work. Yes, it is. Randy, right near where you live, I believe it's near Johnsonville. There's a barbecue place up there that's pretty prominent. If you drive by it, it looks like a hole in the wall, and I can't think of the name of it. It's over there by where you're at. I have not been to it. I've been wanting to go by there just to eat. But he does Oakwood barbecues. I can't think of the name of the place. It's just a little hole in the wall, like an old gas station kind of place. It's not very big. Sounded good that you said onions. Well, once you finally chop them, got to have something in there. Oh, you don't have to put onions in it. I'm about ready to do another shrimp. I did a shrimp boil for Valentine's Day for my wife, and I am about ready to do another one. Scott's, it may be, dude. I can't. Maybe. I can't remember the name of it. I'm gonna have to get my wife to look it up. We were looking at it. It was on one of these barbecue shows that you see on TV. I mean, it is a hole in the wall. Whatever it is, it's a hole in the wall. What is my favorite steak? Ribeye, by a ribeye cut. Whether it's a traditional ribeye cut or if it's a bone-in ribeye. Either way, that ribeye cut is what I like. And I grill those. Those are grilling. That's grill time. I will take sometimes. Now I have done this. I've done it inside the house, and I've done it actually outside. But I have a charcoal grill. I think it is in Hemingway. I have a charcoal grill. I have a Blackstone flat top, small one, and I have my smoker. All that's outside, and I have taken it and threw it on that hot griddle and seared it. And then I'll have a cast iron skillet in the smoker. And I just got it in the smoker, getting hot. And I'll sear the meat on both sides. And then I'll transfer it to that cast iron skillet, and where I have butter and some herbs like rosemary or even some thyme. And I'll sit there and spoon the melted butter over everything if I want to be fancy about everything. I've done that. And then if it needs an extra sear, the good thing about a pit boss is you can take that center out or open up the slide door, turn that fire up to 400 and then reverse sear it again. Yeah. Randy, I think it is in Hemingway now I'm thinking about it. It's a little small spot, a little white store, little white shack, so to speak. I've never eaten there, but I've been wanting to go by there, get some barbecue. So see, I've got 4 or 5 people in here. So do y'all know about barbecue hash? Randy should know about it. I don't know if anybody else does. But all right, well, barbecue hash, if you're going to do it traditionally, you use the meat off the hog's head. But recently, because of time, a lot of people will use the Boston butt, and they will fine chop it, almost grind it after it's been cooked. And then you add your, it's usually ketchup based, and seasoning and whatnot. And then you get your hash. And so if you order a barbecue plate, you'll have your bed of rice, you'll have your hash on top of it, and then your pulled pork barbecue on top of it, your coleslaw, and your hush puppies. In my opinion, there's very few people that can make a good hash, and I cannot make a good hash, but Ward's Barbecue in my hometown of Sumter, if we do a barbecue at the house and I'm doing pulled pork, I will send somebody down to Ward's Barbecue to buy a hash and hush puppies, and I'll do the rice and the pulled pork at the house. Last time I ate there, the barbecue was too spicy hot. Wow. I've never eaten there, so I don't know. It's got Rodney Scott's Barbecue and okay. I don't like it on barbecue. I mean, I have to, if I'm eating something else, then I like spicy hot sauce, but not on barbecue. my sauce is not spicy at all, not at all. But it's the flavor, the combination of everything that we put in it. It just gives it a flavor. What else, gentlemen? Pork chop, are you still in here or did you already leave? Well, gumbo, I haven't made a gumbo in a long time, but we make, I mean, it's not hard. In my opinion, it's not hard to make a gumbo. I mean, you just gotta kind of know what you're doing when you're making your roux. But we make what's commonly referred to as a perlo, and you can do a perlo. You can put whatever you want in it. I mean, you can. Most people, when they're making a perlo, it's chicken and sausage. But we do doves. When we have a good dove shoot, we go around and get the doves, and basically what I do is I'll make a stock. Sometimes I'll put some chicken, like chicken thighs or something, to help with the skin and bone to make my stock, and I'll boil that chicken and doves together, and then I pull it off and pull the doves and chicken meat out, let it cool, and depending on how many people are eating is how much stock that we're making a chicken bog next week. Yeah, chicken bog perlo, same thing. And depending on how many people are eating is how much stock that I'll actually save. And the stock, your basic stuff. It's got pretty much your holy trinity in it, which is going to be onion, bell pepper, and celery. You can put a little bit of garlic in there if you want. And it all depends on you and what your flavor, what kind of flavors you want. Then I make my stock. Anyway, I pull the meat out and I let it cool. I'll take a separate pan, and I will fry up some smoked sausage. Boss, what's up? I don't know what to call you, man. Z boss. Then we'll make we'll get that going, and depending on how much stock I have, I put my rice in there, and then I add my meat back into it and cook it till it's done. And voila, you have a perlo or chicken bog. West is good. Got you, brother. We do that 2 or 3 times a year as well. It's kind of hard for just me and my wife, so I really have to plan things out to have some people over to make big meals like that. Excuse me. Can we talk about dog training for a little bit next week? Sure can. Sure can. I am trying to get a couple of guests up. I'm trying to get somebody who is very knowledgeable about choke tubes. I'm waiting for them to call me back. You'll know, because if I get them to commit to a day, then I'm going to market it real well, get a lot of people in, hopefully. And I'd like to get Keith up here from Salt Creek Custom Ammo. Come up here and talk about shot and whatnot, different shells. But yeah, next week, I have not a problem. We can talk about dog training. I can, I'm not a professional by no means. I don't claim to be one. I do have a couple things that my dogs have to do. And Bougie broke one of my main rules last week. She broke at the gunshot. So I've got to work on how old is your pup? I could probably tell you what's wrong now. So, I mean, honestly, seriously, how old is she? How old is your pup? And how long? I think you said you got a Wednesday. So today, so you've had her less than a week. But how old is she? She's 9 months old. Okay. Give her some time to adjust to you guys. Socialize her first. I know she's probably started. The trainer more likely has already started her, but I would let her socialize to the family for another week. And then if you got a tennis ball and a sock, I know it's going back to a basic, but if you got a tennis ball and a sock, or just a tennis ball, and throw a tennis ball in the backyard, make it a game. Don't worry about if she does a perfect retrieve. Don't worry about none of that. Just take her out there, throw it. If she doesn't want to pick it up, okay, fine. But socialize with her. She's come to a new home, got new smells, all that kind of stuff. I socialized with Bougie for several weeks after we got her, but I was playing with her too. I mean, I'm here at the house, so I play with her a lot. I'm trying to train my crazy Boykin. Boykin. Yeah, she is obedience trained and collar conditioned. She's probably just going through a little, she's not sure where she's at. Socialize her with you and your family. I don't know how you want to do your dog, because I think everybody has a difference of opinion on this. Bougie rides in the front seat. I don't kennel Bougie in the back of a truck. So, and I take her everywhere. If I'm going to a drive-in to pick up Chick-fil-A or McDonald's or whatever it is, she's in the front seat with me. That's how I start socialization. And if I'm running to my local hardware store or either Tractor Supply, they allow dogs, so I'll call her up and put a leash on her, and I take her in there with me. But she just got to get used to you guys. She's probably nervous, and I would give her another week. Still work on her on obedience. Sit, he'll come stay. Don't go into a formal retrieving program. Just do some fun bumpers, that kind of thing. Dog riding a gunner kill in the back of my van. Okay, gotcha. Hey, that's fine. Like I said, everybody's different, man. Everybody's different. Maybe some fun bumpers. She could be going through 9 months. She shouldn't be teething, but she could be. She could be teething right now. Check and see if she's got any loose teeth. Because they're pretty tough. I mean, when you throw a hard bumper or something, they get kind of mouthy. They don't want to pick it up. I had to do that with Bougie. When Bougie started teething, I just quit throwing bumpers. I tried tennis ball just to get her to give her some exercise and let her know it's fun, and give her a couple weeks and then try her again on retrieving and see what goes on. But she's a natural retriever. I mean, she's going to do it naturally. I'd love to play fetch, but she chases it, but don't pick it up. That's weird. Give her a week, man. Let her try to throw a like I said, a tennis ball, and give her a week. If that doesn't work, well, you have to go. We'll have to do something else. But keep at it. And unfortunately, you may have a dog that may have to be force fetched. But I would give it a week, and if she's not doing it by then, yeah, I would think so a little bit, Jeff. I would say just kind of ease back a little bit, but just still play. If she doesn't want to pick it up, do it. If she doesn't want to pick it up, put it away, and let her get used to you. And at the end of the week, if she's still doing the same thing, she may need to be force fetched, or if you got any duck wings, rubber band a couple of duck wings on a bumper, and see if that helps. So I've done that before. I didn't have that problem with Bougie. I mean, she just naturally just went after it. Sometimes she didn't know what to do with it, but she, I still can't get her to center one up. She wants to bring it by she looks like a cigar when she comes running back a lot of times. But we can talk about that next week. Not a problem. But right now, guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to go here and in the back and take me a big swig of NyQuil. Hopefully pass out. Try to get over this cold. That's funny, Randy. Yeah, that was one thing I never wanted my dogs to do is pick up decoys. But we can talk about all that next week. That's not a problem. But I'm going to get on out of here. Yeah, me too, River. I'm going to get on out of here, get me some NyQuil, try to get this head cold out. I appreciate each and every one of y'all coming in. We're just here at the blind, man, just sitting there talking. So anyway, guys, I got a new video out on Bougie. Came out yesterday, episode 3, Forced to Pile. Just little videos of what we're doing for the week. That's all it is. So if y'all will watch them, share them out to your friends. I really would appreciate it, man. It's getting that off season, and not many guys are watching ducks right now. They're wanting to fish or turkey hunt. So, and let me know what you think about them. Good, bad, or ugly, doesn't matter to me. I like to get feedback. I take constructive criticism very, very well. But anyway, guys, y'all have a great night. We will see y'all next Monday night, 8 p.m. God willing, the river don't rise. We'll see y'all next time on Daddy Duck 365. Y'all have a good week.